Okay, welcome. Sorry about that. We had some strange technical issues. For some reason, the call has appeared on the opposite side than it normally would. So normally, for every single other call, Steve-O's been on the right, and for some reason, he's on the left. So, welcome along to the featured stream of broadcast, where we traditionally have a problem at the beginning. Just a quick bit of admin. Please be aware that during the featured stream of broadcasts, notifications will be silent, interaction with chat will be limited, yada yada. We'll catch up with it all at the end. Secondly, if you do have any questions for the stream, please hold them until the end when we open the questions up to chat. And when you do ask questions, please, a little bit of respect would be wonderful. Thank you very much. So, without any further ado, I'm Eleanor, and this here is Stevo, or GutterNerds. Welcome along.
Hey, how's it going? I have a quick question just to start off because you asked for a little bit of respect. Do other guests do you ask for a lot of bit of respect? And I get a little.
No, it's
Okay,
yeah. I pretty
I'm
much
settling in.
don't ask something you wouldn't want to answer in front of a bunch of other people.
Put my seatbelt on.
Yeah. So before anything, make sure that you are following Stevo. It will appear regularly in chat, or you can exclamation mark GutterNerds. I'm going to crash you in straight away with some questions because we're going to go at this rapid fire. So we're going to start nice and
Ready.
easy with food and drink. What is your favorite meal?
So I was actually having this conversation with my wife the other day. I think it's Girl Scout cookies. Um, I think it's the peanut butter patties, the Girl Scout cookies. I don't have a trigger in my head that will stop me from eating them. There's no thing that alerts me, for example, that I might be full while I'm consuming them. So I will either run out of them or you'll have to take me to the hospital. Those are the only two outcomes that happen. As far as like things that are not candy, probably like I one of my favorite things to do is go get fondue with my wife. So I've learned that dipping shit in other shit is also super fun. So I'm gonna say fondue is my official food answer.
Oh, we do like a bit of fondue. And this isn't chocolate fondue, this is cheese based, oil based,
Oh yeah, yeah,
proper
yeah.
fondue.
Yep, yeah,
Okay, yeah, good.
yep.
Tea or coffee?
100% coffee.
I knew that
It's
one was
it's
coming.
up and down coffee. I just put like whatever the Dunkin' Donuts thing is, and I put like a little bit of cream and some sweet and low in it, and then I that's the whole day.
Yep, sorted. What's your favourite non alcoholic beverage? Is it still coffee?
So my most drank beverage is probably Coke Zero. Hashtag not sponsored, but the Mountain Dew Baja Blast really does have a like a real special stabby place in the heart. I think that's where I'm going.
Yep, fair enough, that makes sense. And what about alcohol? What's your favourite alcoholic beverage?
Probably vodka Red Bull because I'm sort of an energy drink like kind of dude. I will mix a vodka and Red Bull. That's like my gamble drink. Like if we go to the casino, it also like mixing uppers and downers is like super fun. So that is probably if I'm gonna have a drink, that's my first stop.
Fair enough. And if you made your own cocktail, what would you call it?
Oh shit, that's a good question. Um, if I made my own cocktail, it would probably be like it would be things that don't really go together. Like let's take like Mountain Dew and Fireball, and it's
Why do they
just
not
like
go together?
some cacophony. I assume they wouldn't. I would if honestly if someone offered me that, I'd
I'll
excitedly
take
drink
it.
it. So but I was just hedging my bets that someone would go that doesn't work. And if I would probably call it something like a gutter blitz or something. I would
Gutter
have to do something
Blitz.
with the branding. Let's call it a
Oh,
gutter
I'm in for
blitz.
Gutter Blitz. We should go and get smashed on Gutter Blitz. That sounds like absolutely brilliant day.
Plan made.
Sorted. Right, guys, we're off. We're going to have some Gutter Blitz. See you later.
It's
So,
running.
moving on to something slightly more contentious, perhaps music. What is your favorite band of all time?
That's hard because I sort of go through phases, but I think like pound for pound and like just like longevity and everything. There is a an artist by the name of Andrew McMahon, and he's had several different um, bands. Something Corporate, Jack's Mannequin, Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness, and then his own name. And it's like piano punk rock, piano ballad punk kind of thing. It's heavy piano, and I'm a sucker for piano. So that I fell in love with something corporate when I went to go see a Newfound Glory concert in high school,
Oh,
and have followed
that's a
Andrew
gig to go
McMahon
to.
ever since.
Speaking of which, what is the best live gig that you've ever been to?
The best live show I've ever been to was actually like the Honda Civic tour from like 2015, 2016. It was Blink 182, um, My Chemical Romance,
Oh,
and then they had like the Police cover band start the show, and it was just slam fucking bang. It was either that or 21 Pilots opening for Panic at the Disco with Fall Out Boy closing.
oh my god. So
That was a
we're
great
liking
show
some of
too.
this old school emo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I'm early thousands emo. Yeah.
Okay. So, but what's your guilty pleasure? You know, where
Uh,
when nobody's around, what goes slamming up that you probably don't like admitting to?
so I will. I used my alarm clock used to be Bang Bang by Jessie J,
Oh, what a song.
and I had to stop doing it because it would scare the shit out of my wife. Like, because like it would just full volume go bam it bam it bam, and she would like scream awake and go, "Oh my god, can you just have a normal alarm, please?" And
I like
so
it.
that is like if it comes on at karaoke or in a bar or something, like I'll try not to
It's
like
your
freak
secret
out,
jam.
but
Yeah,
yeah, I'm there for it.
fair enough. And what's the best song to drive to late at night? On your own,
The
through a
best
tunnel.
song to drive to late at night is going to be something that I can yell sing to, so it's probably going to be A Day to Remember
Hmm.
and probably um This Town, I think is the name of the song. Something goes, I hate this town, it's
Yep.
so washed up. That one.
Yeah.
As I'll just like yell
Yeah.
and like get it all out.
I know those feelings. And if you could be on stage with one musician, you don't have to be singing, you don't have to be doing anything, you're just up there vibing away. Who would you choose?
That 100% Andrew McMahon. He's got like his stage presence is so good, and I feel like I would be sort of like vibing, crushing, just like all. I wouldn't have to be. I would love to be singing like with him. That would be great. Like singing one of the songs with him. But being on stage with him while he's like jamming on the piano would just be like, okay, you
Yeah.
can take me out in the alley and execute me because all of the stuff I've wanted to do in life is over. Like
Yeah,
it's all downhill
achieved.
from here.
Fantastic. Okay, here's something that's going to be. We're going to split it into two sections. We're going on to movies. Um, well, maybe we're not splitting it into two sections, actually. Let's find out what your answers are to the first two. What's your favorite film of all time?
My favorite film of all time, I think, is the Christopher Nolan film Memento with Guy Pearce and Carrie Ann Moss. And it was one of the movies, like, I was always a film kid,
Hmm.
and I have my bachelor's degree in radio, TV, film. Like, I went to film school. But that movie sort of, like, changed my life because, like, the way that it does its narrative is the main character has short-term memory loss. He can only remember things for about 5 minutes at a time.
Hmm.
He remembers his whole past up to a certain point, but he can't make new memories. And so the movie shows you a scene, and then the scene before that, and then the scene before that, and then the scene before that, and then intersperses some other stuff. And it was
Genius.
just super awesome.
Mm.
I had, you
I've
have
got
to
to watch
watch it
that. I've
like
not
four
seen it.
times to get it.
I've not
It's
seen that, so I'll
excellent.
keep an eye out for it. Okay, keeping in the non-Star Wars section, is there a Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, actually, first of all?
I'm choosing between these two.
Yeah, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, or neither if you really hate both.
I want to make it clear that I don't support
Yeah,
Rowling as a person, but as far as universes go, the Harry Potter universe is something that I have more interest in than Lord of the Rings. Actually, at the beginning of the pandemic, the first like marathon that my wife and I did was we did all the director's extended versions of Hobbit trilogy through Lord of the Rings
yeah,
trilogy. And I learned, because I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings fan, I learned that I loved the Hobbit trilogy and I liked the Lord of the Rings
yeah,
trilogy,
yeah.
which
That's fair
I
enough.
think is maybe a bit of a hot take, but
Well, as a massive Lord of the Rings nerd, I agree with you. Like,
oh no shit.
yeah, because I like the books, and The Hobbit's much more filled out than The Lord of the Rings, and much more like it's that you get the full story instead of like little bits and bobs that they thought would look good on film. So yeah,
Right,
I'm
because when
100%
you take
behind.
The Hobbit and you expand it out and you get to spend time with characters
Mm,
and explore the world and maybe add in a few and
yeah,
like really play with it, whereas Lord of the Rings, because it's such a big tome, inevitably you're just sort of like cutting it up and you're like, oh, I remember this scene, I remember this scene, and
yeah.
then
You got
it makes
180
perfect
pages
sense.
and 1,000 pages, and they're both the
Yeah,
same length in film for some odd reason.
right, yeah.
Yeah. If there is one film or film world that you wish you could be in, not necessarily in the story, just like take the world and you could just live in it, which world are we talking?
I think that as much as I hate giving dogs, come on. Hey, shh,
Hello.
sorry. That was Katniss. She, not she. As much as it is an expected response, probably the Star Wars universe, because it's not so sci-fi. It's like the blend of sci-fi and fantasy that I
Yeah,
really like, where I could probably still like be a streamer and live my own life and not feel like terribly out of place as a result of it.
definitely.
But but it would still be interesting and fun and like getting to talk to droids and maybe someone can like move shit with their mind, like that'd be fun.
You have segued perfectly for me. Who is
Yes.
your favorite Star Wars human character? I say human, inverted commas, played by a human as opposed to a droid or alien.
Yeah. uh, I think that probably Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's either Obi-Wan or Lando. I switch between those two. I think Obi-Wan is one of my favorites because he is he seems to me like a guy that does the best that he can and he doesn't always get it right, but he I can't really find any fault with anything that he does other than his faults are like human faults that anybody would have. Like he tried to see the best in Anakin. He tried to train him as best he could, and then when he couldn't, he tried to point him in the right direction and stuff like that. And Lando, just because I wish I were Lando. I wish that like he like dresses awesome. He's good at cards. He's got a decent amount of luck. He's charming and funny, and I just love him. So Lando,
Or Obi-Wan.
but Obi-Wan.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I get that. What is your favorite droid or alien? We're going to categorize them together. I know they're completely different things, but you can pick a droid or an alien.
I love oh, what was her name? The droid from Solo, like Lando's protocol droid, who was always like looking for a rebellion and like looking for a fight and uh like going out of her way to stand up for herself. Was like I wish I could remember her name. I'm
Somebody
blanking
will
right now.
provide in a minute.
But it's if you remember the droid from Lando's droid from Solo, I thought she was awesome.
I mean, personally, I'm not actually aware of who you're talking about because we're in our marathon, and so far we're up to four, which we're reviewing on Tuesday. So I've seen the original three a long time ago, but other than that, my Star Wars knowledge was zero until you decided to become a Star Wars channel. So
Oh, I'm glad that I L yeah they called her L.
L337 or Leet, as that
Yes,
as that spells out.
yes,
Fantastic.
and he called her L. Thank you.
Cheers, Paul Puri. Um, moving on to television, because I know this is something that you enjoy a lot of in sort of like in series binging, if you like. What is your favorite series of all time?
My favorite series of all time is probably Breaking Bad. I think as far as like and people who love Breaking Bad get really up their own ass about how much they love Breaking Bad. So I'm going to try and tell you how much I love it
Without
without
sounding up your
putting
own ass.
my own head up my own ass. Is that I think as far as like um, investment, believability, thoughtfulness, and cohesiveness, like it told its story from beginning to end without going off the rails, without spending a bunch of time doing crazy stuff. It was a slow burn in the way that things happen in a paced manner. It's not like a
It's a
mile a minute
well-paced show,
show.
yeah.
Yeah, but the all of the decisions and all of the portrayals that the actors did such a phenomenal job, and I think that probably Bryan Cranston's Walter White is maybe the best acting I've ever seen. Period.
Fair enough. Yep. I think there's a lot of debate for it, but definitely it's up there. If you could be in a TV show as an actor, we can go back in time for this. So if it's a TV show that's already finished, you're just sort of acting away in a TV show. What TV show would you like to have been part of?
I I think I would really love to, and I don't know if this is going to answer your question. It gets to the heart of your question, but I would love to voice act as Spider-Man in a Spider-Man animated series.
Brilliant.
Um, because I can't play Spider-Man, but I can voice Spider-Man. I think in the way, especially in the way that Nick Johnson voiced him in Into the Spider-Verse. I thought very much was like, yep, that's kind of the cadence that I would give him,
Yeah.
being a little silly and snarky, and getting to pretend that I can be things like agile or acrobatic would be super fun.
Yeah, I mean, I had you down for the voice acting thing, so that,
Did
yeah,
you
I can
really?
see. Yeah, because you're always pulling out a random voice here and there, so I think that makes a lot of
Yeah, no,
sense. What's your guilty pleasure TV show? What's that one that you just? Oh, do you know what? Yeah, I do sit down and watch that actually.
there is a show on it's on Discovery Plus right now. I think it was on HGTV, and it's not. It's like a home reno show, and it's called Hidden Potential, starring a woman named Jasmine Roth, and she takes like sort of like cookie cutter houses and then makes them very unique. And she usually puts in some sort of like hidden thing, like you guys love coffee, so we have like a hidden coffee machine built into the wall that does like, so she comes up with like cool things, and it makes me want to like do stuff to my own house. And so that's my guilty pleasure show,
Yeah.
is like the home reno scene, but that one specifically.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of bad TV but good TV.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's what all guilty pleasures should be.
And
Would you
also,
prefer
like,
to go
I
on?
get the feeling that she does a lot of her own, like she's in the construction of it.
Yeah,
It's like when you watch something like Chip and Joanna Gaines, like there are scenes where you see Chip like taking down a wall or whatever, but he's always by himself, and it's because I think they shoot specific scenes where he's like quote unquote working on it.
yeah, yeah,
But I
hundred
don't think
percent.
they really are
No,
actually there when like their demo team is doing stuff.
no, they're far too successful
So
for that. Yeah.
yeah, they make too much money for that.
Do you prefer watching a talk show or a game show?
Probably a talk show. I really so I what you're doing now, I love interviews and I love getting to know people. And so even though a lot of talk shows are going to be like very tightly controlled, every now and then like you get to see someone be really real, and
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
yeah, yeah. There's a definite genuineness to it. Speaking of genuineness or lack thereof, would you go on a reality TV show?
It depends on the reality show. If it was
I mean, we're
something
talking like
like,
Big Brother.
yeah, something like Big Brother, I think I would totally do. I mean, I am very much me at all times.
Hmm.
I don't know how to not be. Even like sometimes to the point where like my wife would be like, "Why did you tell that story on stream?" And I was like, "I don't know. I thought someone could relate to it." She was like, "But it was a story about you pooping your own pants at the age of 36." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but you know."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
uh,
you're very, very much always
if
in persona. That is
yeah,
there is no front.
if I didn't have to compete in some sort, like if I was like on Survivor, I might do it, but I'd be there for like
That
30
would be some
minutes.
quality television.
They'd be like, "All right, now take this rope and swing to the other side." I'm like, I tried. I'm going home.
Okay, let's take it serious, truly serious. What is your favorite video game ever?
Damn. Uh, I have a lot of love for the Resident Evil universe, and Resident Evil 7 was, I think, the really high up there. But Metal Gear Solid on PS1 and its remake, The Twin Snakes on GameCube, is probably my all-time hands down favorite. And part of it was because it did such a good job of blending like film and interactability, like game and film.
Hmm.
And so I was like, this is what game storytelling can be. This is what acting in a game can be. Like if I'm shedding tears because like, love can bloom on a battlefield, then I'm like
You're
in.
invested. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're truly in. Who's your favorite character from a game?
My favorite character from a game ever. That's a really good question. Damn you, Elena. Okay, so my favorite character from a video game ever. I'm gonna I'm going to say probably. I think I'm going to get some blowback here for this, but I think Titus from Final Fantasy X,
Oh,
and
yes.
I that was another one of those games where like I was so invested into the story and characters, and he may not have been like the best character, and he may have been kind of annoying, but to me he was the most real
Mm.
because there's a fish out of water story, and he's trying to figure out where he is and what's going on, like I am, and I felt very like he's a little goofy. He's not the smartest, kid. He doesn't excel at anything, but he's like good-hearted, and he
Mm.
and he tries,
He
and like
does
he's making
try.
connections.
I
And so I
breathed
just
through Titus when I played that game.
yeah, I just
He's connecting more than any other
yeah,
character I've experienced.
exactly.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. What's your favorite game that you have played on Saturday Morning Retro?
My favorite game for Saturday Morning Retro. I know my least favorite off the top of my head.
We just finished,
Immediately,
dude.
my least favorite is Echo the Dolphin. I never finished it. It's the only
It
game on
was
stream I haven't
yeah,
finished.
it was not the best.
Fuck Echo the Dolphin. It's so hard. And my favorite game that I've played on Saturday Morning Retro is, I mean, playing Doom for the first time was a ton of fun. And it was a little repetitive. And I know from like a viewer, like and a listener perspective, it's just like 6 hours of
Yep.
you know, over and over again. Um,
But yeah, I mean, it's
and
about what's fun to
then
you.
yeah, what's fun for me that was I know there's a game where I felt like I like almost didn't want it to end. Actually, I know we did every now and then for Saturday Morning Retro. I do what's called a comparison stream. If a game has been remade, and then the what I'll do is I'll play the old one, and then
Yeah.
we'll switch like level for level, going back and forth. So we've done it with Crash, we've done it with Spyro,
Yeah, I
and
remember the
the
Spyro
first
one.
one we did. You saw you were there for the Spyro one.
Spyro one, yeah.
Yeah. The first one we did was Conker's Bad Fur Day. So I did Conker on 64, and we do like play it for an hour and then play the Xbox remake for an hour.
Yeah.
And I think that was the most fun because it was like I'm switching it up, I'm getting to do something unique, but also like I loved Conker as like a teenager.
Mm.
And it doesn't exactly hold up. It's not like the best, but there are still like some really legitimately funny moments in that game that I think are hysterical.
Fair enough. Possibly still on the retro theme, but I'm not so sure. What's your favorite game to play with friends? Or, like, in the past, what was your most fun experience? It can be on or offline. It can be, two of you sat at the controllers or 12 of you in a guild.
I think GTA Online, um,
Mm.
because it's so there's so much you can do in it. So we can get anywhere. If I have one other person to play with me, there's stuff we can do. We
Just to
can run
clarify, this is sort
missions.
of role playing, right? Or
I
everything.
mean, not really. It's more just like or if we have four of us, we can do a heist. But then we did like one of the most fun things was we had there's some collectibles that you can find across the map in GTA
Hmm.
Online, and it's this huge map, and there's like 100 things to find or something. And we had JB, a friend of mine who will stream and be on channel fairly regularly, looked up where to find all these things. And so we went on this big, like, we had, I want to say like 15 to 20 people, and we had like 4 or 5 different helicopters that we were going around, like, basically like a tour of Los Santos,
And a
but
giant Easter egg
finding
hunt.
things. And just like, yeah, we were like talking to each other and having fun. And then every now and then, like, another player would try to like bomb us or shoot us or something like
Mm.
that. And it was just like this fun virtual life we were living.
Yeah, no, totally. I think games that give you the freedom to sort of be who you are with friends is always great for multiplayer.
Which I want to throw out. I know that it gets a lot of hate, and I know it gets a lot of hate because older people hate it when younger people have fun. But I think that this is something that Fortnite does really
Mm.
well, is that they create a space where people can meet, and it's not just about like the battle
Yeah,
royale. It's
100%.
about coming together and doing a thing with friends, and like, you know, uh,
It's social
having
networking without the bullshit.
Yeah, and having concerts in Fortnite and showing like the trailer to episode Star Wars Episode 9 in Fortnite, like going to
Yeah.
the theater in Fortnite to watch it. That's so cool.
Yeah,
And
and
I
you
know
get
it's
this with
fun
loads
to
and
rag
loads
on.
of sort of MMORPGs as well, where they become sort of
Yes.
it's a community get together as much as it is, a game. And I think that's what multiplayer games, that's multiplayer done properly, right?
Right, yeah, exactly.
What's a popular video game or series that you don't like?
A popular game Minecraft. I and I totally get why people love it, and I totally respect it as a game and as a medium. And people make incredible stuff in Fortnite, or not Fortnite, in Minecraft, and the level of creativity goes. But it's just I've watched it a fair amount, and I have absolutely no interest in because I'm not. My creativity comes from sort of being limited.
Hmm.
And if you give me this big open, like you can do anything you want in this game, I'm
Can
not.
I quit?
Nothing's gonna come
Yeah,
to mind. Yeah, yeah. Well,
I know
I'm
what you
out.
mean. Okay, let's find out a little bit about who you are. You're on a desert island. Okay, you're stranded there. You
Okay.
can't bring anything that's gonna let you communicate, let you escape, or let you make more of something. But you can take one possession. What do you take?
Hmm. I probably take something if like a notepad if I'm allowed a writing utensil great
Hmm.
um with that like because if I can still if I'm gonna okay first of all like apologies to everyone aboard that ship because I know that if I'm stranded on a desert island it's my fault. I know I did whatever. So first of all, apologies. That was my bad.
Yeah,
Two, I think I would be able to entertain myself for the rest of my life by being able to write, like being able to
yeah,
create stories and
yeah.
characters and stuff. I think,
Imagination.
yeah.
Okay, you can take one music album. This is, you just take the disc, you stick it to your ear, and you can hear it.
Hmm.
So no, you can listen to it. One album.
Uh, I think that probably it is just about the perfect album. It's really close. I think a very, 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 very close runner-up is "American Idiot" by Green Day,
Hmm.
but I think "Welcome to the Black Parade" by My Chemical Romance is going to be enough. Like I don't think I would get tired of listening to
Yeah.
that album.
What a picture, though, listening to that in the middle of a desert island.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. It's definitely an album that's got enough different elements that you can keep going.
Like I'd be like dancing around if someone was watching the island, they'd be like, "Oh, like he seems so happy. What is he listening to
Should we
like
just leave
Taylor
him?
Swift or something?" But then when you get close enough, it's like, "This is how I disappear."
Beautiful, beautiful. One book.
Bing. Yeah. What book? Um. Ah. Probably. It would probably be Jurassic Park
Yeah, Michael Crichton.
because I and also part of it is that because of the movie now I have such
Mm.
a good visual sense of like what I want things to look like, which is based on Steven
Yeah,
Spielberg's version of it. But I think like the book is entertaining enough and just like silly pseudoscience enough that I can like spend time thinking about it, spend time thinking about the characters, how I would rewrite it,
yeah,
that kind of
yeah,
thing.
100%. One person.
A person. It'd be my wife. My Nerdez is we got married in December of 2019. So we came back from our honeymoon and the pandemic started.
Yeah,
But she like hands down is the almost the balance, like the almost the exact balance of like my personality.
yeah,
Not opposite because we have a lot in common, but that balance of like, okay, the two of us have been able to figure out stuff because there are some times where it'll be like something will like freak her out and I'll be like I can sort of be that level like yeah things don't really get to me but also things don't really get to me to the point where sometimes like if there's an emergency, my brain doesn't necessarily comprehend that it's an
Wake up!
emergency. I was like, oh my God, you're bleeding out. And I'm like, he'll be fine. It's okay. Just give him a. And no, shit, he's bleeding out. We should probably get him out. You
And
know
she'll
what I mean?
give you the kick up the arse, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to let you know, my husband left me at home and took Angelina Jolie to the island. Just throwing that one out there.
Angelina.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that would
She's
be
pretty
fun.
useless, but good fun. One
I'm
dog?
sure she
No,
does.
I'm
Very
kidding. We
confident.
won't make you choose a dog. So you're sitting on this island. You've got your one music album. You've got Nerdes. You've got your one book. You've got your notepad and pen because they come together. What do you miss most?
My friends. I've learned during the pandemic that the things that I like doing in life are, when Nerdez and I get to hang out with our friends or get to play poker or go or do something with people. And part of the reason why I started streaming in the first place was that we had a group of people. It is now basically a Steve-O-centric stream, and that wasn't entirely as a result of the pandemic, but it started because I just wanted to do stuff with people and play multiplayer games and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Right, little bit about the channel as such. Actually, interesting you've just mentioned that because the first question I have here is, what have you done in the past as a channel that you miss most? From podcasts to group streaming to the living room games to karaoke. Yeah.
Couch co-op is the one that I miss the most, and I
Me
think
too.
that we'll be able to get to do after the pandemic. So before we were the Star Wars channel, we were what I used to call true variety, because people refer to themselves as variety streamers, and they should. That's fine. But I called it true variety because we had a podcast, single player, online multiplayer, couch co-op, retro. Like every different show had a different format to it.
Yeah, 100%.
And so the couch co-op stuff, where like either I or Nerdez or JB would come and sit, or my friend Sam would come sit on the couch, and we do something like split screen or co-op.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's something that I've missed hugely. The couch co-op streams are a scream.
Oh, thank you.
Why did you become a streamer?
I became a streamer because I wanted to be a writer, and I found myself writing little web comics.
Yeah.
And I found someone to illustrate those web comics, and we created a website. And then we had a radio show back in the day. I was a DJ on KNTU and on KTCU, which
Sorry,
were
on
both
what?
the UNT.
What were the letters?
KNTU.
Oh, okay. That's
North Texas University.
Yeah, I heard those a bit too quick.
And then KTCU, which both operated out of their respective colleges. One was a jazz station, but the other one that we had was a talk show where we reviewed video games on the radio. Like you could tune in like 88.1 FM and listen to the show if you were in the DFW area. And so
What a freaking awesome job.
as we made the webcomic, I was like, I want to do that, but I want to be able to swear. So let's make a podcast where we just like talk about nerdy stuff, but we don't have to abide by the like FCC regulations or anything like that. So we did the podcast, and then when the Xbox One came out, I realized that you could stream to Twitch from the Xbox One, and I was like, I bet we could take the podcast and put it on Twitch. And so that's how we started. I had never even seen a Twitch stream.
Yeah.
I just wanted to take our podcast and put a camera there and put it out there. So that's how that started.
I think that's so indicative of you as a person. Most people became a Twitch streamer because they saw Twitch and they thought, yeah, do you know what? I'd like that. Steve-O decided what he wanted to do and then tried to find somewhere to fit that. And I think that so sticks with you. You're such a genuine person, you know? You knew what you wanted to do and then you found somewhere to be that person.
Right.
And I think that's fantastic.
That means the world to me. I appreciate that.
On which
it was
note,
very much like, we do a thing. I want to do it in front of people. So let's do it that way.
On which note, why are you a good streamer? What makes you a good streamer? Why should people come to your channel?
I do. So like, I don't want to sound up my own ass here. But I feel like I'm a pretty good streamer. Yeah. And so I'm not always the best, like, technically. Like, learning how to run the show is, like, the thing that I, like, okay, tech issues and getting what is microphone compression and stuff like that. So that is all a learning process. But I think that if I were to tell someone that why they would be interested in the stream is that I equal parts like care about the community and who's there and that interaction, along with being a source of entertainment. So if you came to the stream and you didn't want to chat for some reason, I would hope that there would still be entertainment there
Yeah.
because of like cracking jokes and telling stories during the game that may or may not have anything to do with the game itself at all.
Yep. Fair enough. What is your favorite moment of your streaming career so far? Should that not be your favorite moment? Whatever's come to mind.
This one right now. I think so. There are a couple things that come to mind. There's sort of like bigger, broader, sort of like events.
Yeah.
Which was like the GTA heist series that I did with some friends. I thought was super fun and funny. And even if nobody watched them, and they're actually still up on our YouTube channel. Like the whole heist series that we did is on YouTube. But it wasn't role play, but it almost became that in that our characters that we were heisting sort of became us at the same time, and it was just that was so much fun. When I played The Surge, which is kind of a Souls-like game, I had one of the devs come into chat and and actually clip something. That was a very funny moment, and so like that was really cool and like meant a lot to me. And then another one was actually a karaoke night that we did, where my wife Nerdez sang "Down with the Sickness," and she went 100% with it. And so she gets up and she's kind of like, she's like, "Hi, my name is Nerdez. I'm gonna be singing "Down with the Sickness," and then it goes, "Oh wow!" and she just 100% leans into it.
It was one of the best stream moments I've witnessed anywhere. I was there. I'm so glad I was there. It was something else. It was something else. I've left this in on purpose. So I do different questions for different people, and the next question says, favorite song you've written so far? And I've left it in because you spent a lot of time on stream singing spontaneously, non-spontaneously. Now, you have this request where we do a sort of make Steve-O sing, and you've come up with a lot of interesting ditties in your time. Does one stand out as a memory?
So a recent one that I really liked that I did was I created this like 90s theme song for the main character of Jedi Knight. His name's Kyle Katarn, and I put it on like TikTok and stuff, but I had this like silly he's goofing around the 90s intro that I thought was really funny. Prior to that, there was I think I did a Christmas song while playing Doom for Caldane, where I was like singing like White Christmas but replaced it with like Doom lyrics. A lot of times my brain deletes them as soon as I do it because I don't
with relief
because they're like embarrassing. Like, oh, I screwed that up. Just shuffle that off.
I think the spontaneity is what makes them fun, but as I went to change the question, I thought, I'll leave that there. What's your favourite game to play off-stream, if you have any time off-stream where you actually have time to play a game?
I almost don't. I almost don't have any time off-stream to play games, but so Rocket League is a game that I wish I played more of because I think it's super fun. I love playing and watching Rocket League. GTA is one I think off stream where even when I'm not streaming it, GTA Online is just I can go do stuff, hang out, make money, chat with friends or whatever. Lately, I will say that I am loving. I know there are issues with it. Cyberpunk.
Yeah, fantastic.
Actually, so that's actually the second game. Actually, now that I think about it, where usually if I start a game, I finish it on stream. And Cyberpunk, I ditched for a couple of reasons. One, we were going to become the Star Wars channel, and so I'm not going to bother. Like we'll move forward and not go backward. But also, there are issues with it, but the storytelling specifically in the game, they actually did a really good job, and I wish that some of the other things around it didn't hadn't impacted the narrative of what cyberpunk is now in gaming culture, because the actual execution of the story is very good, and I'm really enjoying the characters in the game.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think a lot of people have really enjoyed it, and a lot of people have stopped streaming it because of the DMCA issues as well. So,
Yeah, right.
yeah, it gives you something um, sort of to play off stream in future when you've got some time. Speaking of having no time, talk to me about this transition to a Star Wars channel. So, first of all, why Star Wars? What makes Star Wars worth a whole channel dedication?
I think because there's a couple things. Is that even before the sort of what I would call like the recent Star Wars renaissance, is that there's it's something that I grew up with, and I'm not the most knowledgeable Star Wars person in the world. I haven't spent a lot of time in the extended universe or knowing all of the things about all of the characters and what references are what. Like I'm even still watching like Clone Wars, um, by myself. But the because I grew up with it and I've loved it my entire life, I knew that I wasn't going to be done with it. Like
Yeah.
in a few months, I'm not going to get sick of it because I live Star Wars most days of my actual life.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that at the same time, we're like Mandalorian's taking hold. They've announced like 10 other Star Wars projects. More Star Wars games are going to be coming out. Like even before, there's still like a ton of Star Wars games.
You think there's enough
But
content to keep going? You haven't got a shelf life
exactly.
on this. Yeah. Okay.
But even without the old games, there's a lot of stuff down the like in the pipe that people are really taking seriously. Jedi Fallen Order was an amazing game. What we were playing earlier today, Squadrons, is like a really thoughtful, really good, intricate, technically good game. And so I think it's one of those things where it came at the right time. Disney did their like we have 1,000 Star Wars things coming out. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, this is the time.
Yep. No, I definitely think it was definitely the right time. What are the next goals for the channel for you?
Um, my goals for the channel are twofold. There's the like community engagement, which I want to make a thing, and it may be Star Wars: The Old Republic, or it may be watch parties in Discord, where more of us can sort of just get together and hang out
Yep.
and do sort of Star Warsy related stuff and explore the universe together without being like gatekeepy assholes, which unfortunately is kind of a thing in in Star Wars fandom, and like specifically like my wife Nerdez, for example, she loves Star Wars. She loves Mandalorian. She loves Baby Yoda. But like she may not be able to tell you like even the character like all the names of the characters from any of the movies because she likes them and she loves them. She has Star Wars shirts. She buys Star Wars stuff, but just like isn't like neither of us really invest into like the knowledge and the lore
No.
like a whole lot.
No.
So let's learn it together and let's do it like let's make more Star Wars fans.
Yeah. No, I
Is sort
think
of the
that's a
thing.
brilliant goal. You said it was twofold. That's your first fold.
The other one is that is something that I've talked to you about before is that I would love to be able to do this as a part-time job, and I've for a while I thought partner was like, oh, let's make partner, and I realized I don't even really care about that. I don't care about the check mark. What matters is if like we're a having fun and building a community, and then b just to be perfectly honest about like the financial side of things is if this can be enough to where I can let's say take my
It has
regular
to be
job and go
sustainable,
part
right?
time there.
It has to
Yeah,
be.
I want it to be able to sustain itself and then to be able to put more of myself into it. If it gets to a point where it can be, be part-time job status, then I could work part-time off stream, work part-time on stream, and be the happiest, like that life fulfilled.
Yeah, no, I could agree more. I agree 100%, and I think that is something that the community has as a goal for you as well. I mean,
Oh,
first of all,
that's
more
awesome.
Stevo's great, and secondly, like you having the time and space to really rely on it would be fantastic.
I
Um,
appreciate that.
right, quick diversion. What's with the green screen background? So you have your green screen background, and as far as I can tell, as a very, very regular watcher of the show, we are in an underground factory.
So the green screen is like a Death Star hallway. It's like supposed to be like a very
Oh, it's Star Wars.
indicative
Why didn't I think of
Star
that?
Warsy. Yeah, it's a Star Warsy background, but also like the gutter, right?
Yeah.
So before it was Star Warsy, the green screen background was like um this like under sewer kind of thing, and then during Halloween, like when we did our horror stuff, it was like, you know, the creepy underground sewer kind of thing. So it was supposed to be like sort of guttery, but also like Star Warsy, like this dark Star Wars hallway. But the reason that I use the green screen at all is because, as you can see here behind me, is just a wall. A lot of streamers sit at their computer desk and then they have room behind them.
Yeah.
So if they decided they didn't want to have a green screen, they could decorate and do stuff. My stream setup, because we initially set up for podcast, is and I will do a very, very quick show. Is so like if you look over here, that's what like a traditional stream setup
Yep.
would look like, with like monitors and a gaming
that's my
chair and a
face.
mic and stuff like that. This is my stream setup here, which these two mounted TVs on the wall, because I have a couch there and then I have this couch here that I sit on. And so I don't sit at a desk. I sit and game and stream from a sofa
so
across the
jealous.
room from my TVs. So I use a green screen because there's not really much I can do to decorate
no, that
sort of
makes sense.
6 inches of wall behind me.
Yeah, but I'm so glad I asked that question, because for months I've been wondering why your green screen is what looks like the downstairs maintenance hall of a factory, and I hadn't clicked that it was Star Wars at all.
I could probably make it more Star Wars.
Yeah, no, I don't. Now that I know what it is, I can see it, but I just hadn't. My brain had just not made that leap.
But also like what I should probably, this is great feedback, because what I should probably do is have something that really screams Star Wars.
Yeah, you could have some
even if you're
lightsabers
new to
sheathed
the
on
channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving away from the Star Wars stuff for a second, you do a show on Thursday, which is honestly my favorite show on any Twitch channel anywhere. If you get 2 hours
my
on a
God, thank
Thursday,
you.
bloody well turn up. You sit down, usually with Mark, but not always, and talk life. So Thursday morning drive time.
Yeah.
This is 9 a.m. EST, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to do time conversions in my head. Do you enjoy it more
You
than
did
playing video games?
Almost. Like, so this is funny because we started the stream with the podcast, and it was chatty, and then it became sort of about video games and about video game news and stuff like that. And it was very like produced, and you know, I had like show notes, and we'd have visuals and things like that, and we made it like a show, like a talk show. And then that was when the pandemic happened, we stopped doing that. I was like, okay, now that I'm separated from the podcast, I think I was like really putting in a lot of work into that, and it was stressing me out more than I was enjoying it, even though I loved it, and the people that I worked with were amazing and they're phenomenal talents. Then Mark was like, hey, you know, I'm bummed that we never had that morning radio show that we always wanted to have when we were kids. We would record on a boombox, just like he would call in on speakerphone, and I would play music on a CD player, and we would pretend to have a radio show, because I've known him for 30 years. So like we went to middle school together and everything. And so I was like, you know what, we could do that. The morning drive time, where in our neck of the woods, people are getting up and going to work. They could listen to a talk show, but not a podcast. I don't want it to have a topic. I just want to chat with Mark about whatever's going on. And then if people in chat have which is what a just chatting stream is, but it's a little bit more than just a just chatting stream, because inevitably we end up talking about like real things, like
Oh, hugely. I mean, when we had the political status, you know, you guys really delved into that, with the recent political issues, stuff like that. When there's a big topic to go into, you guys really bring it to the forefront.
right. And I definitely like stand up for what I believe in, and I definitely have like you can tell my political leanings pretty easily, I think, if you spend 5 minutes with me. But you know, I joke with Mark, it's like, do you just want to call it leftist propaganda hour or what, you know, or whatever. But the thing is that when we have a discussion, one of the things that I think that Mark and I do really well is there are certainly red lines. Like, we're not going to let you be disrespectful of people or say mean and hateful things. That's not going to happen. But if someone comes in with a differing point of view, I feel like we do a good job of like, let's listen to them and listen to where they're coming from, and then try to explain our point of view from a sense of where we can sort of come together as a group and create some agreement on things. as opposed to, because I think there's absolutely 100% a time and place where someone can come in and go, no, we're not doing that here, and you need to leave. That's not welcome
Of
here.
course.
And then there are some things where you can go, you know what? I see where you're coming from, and let's investigate that.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the wonderful things about Drive Time is you can have quite a contentious chat with lots of different perspectives, and yet we're all not only reading from the same page in a sense, but we're also all having an enjoyable time. You know, it doesn't get tense, it just gets
Nobody's gotten
interesting.
mad at each other
No, it
at
just gets
not one
interesting.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic, and that's just, hats off to you and Mark.
Oh, thank you.
Speaking of which, doing other things, you also have done a few interviews. A la this style, Steve-O's interviewed lots of interesting people. Now, I'm not going to ask you to pick a particularly favourite guest at all, because that's an awful thing to say.
How could I?
But has there been an interview you've done that's really surprised you in terms of either, it wasn't the content you were expecting to talk about, or you really didn't expect like that to pop off like it did, or did it lead to something else?
I so every single interview doesn't go in an interviewee way, and I think it's because of the way that I interview people, and also a lot of the people that I interview are friends. They're
Yeah,
people that
yeah,
I
yeah.
know and know well enough that I can maybe ask a little bit more probing question while still adhering to their personal boundaries, but maybe like a little bit more of a deep dive. Um, and so there are two interviews that stand out to me. One was the interview with Sneaky Teak, which didn't take me by surprise because he's such a cool personality
Yeah.
that I felt like the back and forth and the banter just became very silly and natural. And I actually knew him the least. I know the reason I know Sneaky Teak is because he went to school with my sister.
Oh, right, I
They
had no
were
idea. I thought you just knew each
yeah,
other through Twitch.
no,
Oh,
they
mind blown.
my little sister and he went to like we're friends. We're like life friends. And so I met him through her, like
Mm.
fairly recently actually. And but an interview that sort of went in a different direction than I thought it was um is sort of something that happens with me and Mark every week. Was when I interviewed Loch Ness, who was a mixer partner, runs a WoW guild on Twitch, and runs she and her husband Zachy Wack run the D&D campaign that we play in every other week. Was we started talking about like the life work balance and like seeing there's a moment where it was like she like not we didn't give her this realization, like she knows it, but there was a moment where we were talking about like should we be taking more time to ourselves, and it was just like it sort of like got really real, like in a
Mm.
moment of
I've
like
just watched this, by the way. Just
yeah where
watched this.
she's
So,
just like
yeah.
I do really need, and I was like, what can we help do something like to get you, because she's such a, and Master Charles the same way, is they put so much effort, and it's so admirable, and it's something I love about these streamers, but like the burnout is also very real when you're
Mm.
streaming. And so there, but I just remember specifically this moment of like her going like, oh my god, like yeah, I really do need to, and
Yeah.
it wasn't coming from a perspective of like berating you into needing to do something
Mm.
different
No,
or
it
whatever. It
was a very
was
naturally arising moment, but
yeah,
it was quite lovely to watch. Okay, we're going to lighten the topics completely. Just this or that, really simple. Night or day?
cool. Night.
Walk or drive?
I'll drive.
Silence or noise?
Noise it up. I love Vegas. Like if I'm in silence, I'm antsy.
Beach holiday or city break?
Beach holiday actually, which doesn't really make sense with the last answer,
No, no, it
but
does. It does. Yeah, gotta get some outs. Mountains or forest?
mountains. Blair Witch Project, scariest movie in the world. Mountains.
Facebook or Twitter?
If you'd asked me a couple years ago, I said something else, but Twitter.
Twitter,
It's
yeah, it's on your
way
home,
easier to
isn't it?
connect with people on Twitter.
Dinner with friends or out to a party?
Again, it used to be different. I think dinner with friends. I'd cut a toe off to be able to have dinner
I
with
know, right?
friends right
Well,
now.
so would I. Bath or shower?
Shower to clean, bath to relax. I have a thing about me. I know this is supposed to be quick, but a thing about me,
No, no.
I have recurring dreams about like bathroom fixtures. So like jacuzzis, hot
Oh,
tubs,
okay, right.
cool tubs,
Yeah.
and like I'm kind of obsessed with them in a way. So if like a shower is the most utilitarian. Like I would not want to
Yeah,
clean
in, out,
myself in a
wash, done.
bathtub,
Yeah.
but having a tub is like something a little bit I'm obsessed with.
No, that makes sense. Pen or pencil?
A pen, and I don't mind scratching through things or whatever to make corrections. The messiness is beautiful, but it's easier for me to write with ink than it is in pencil.
Is that your
I
new
don't
stream tagline, by the way? The
like pencil.
messiness is beautiful. I love it. I love
That's
it.
great. Yeah.
Beer or wine? Or liquor,
Wine. I
if you
can't.
must.
I've
Yeah.
people. You just gotta find a beer you like. I don't like beer.
Oh, fair enough.
It tastes like piss.
And if you're sleeping, is the window open or closed? Or is it not your choice?
It is not my choice. I would probably. It's got to be closed because it's just too goddamn hot here.
Yep.
In Texas, it has to be
For
closed.
those British people that didn't understand that sentence, Americans have this thing called aircon.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't.
if if I opened the window, I would spend hundreds of dollars in electricity trying to temperature
down
control the
again.
house. That would just be all for naught.
Yep, fair enough. Then finally, we're going to talk a bit about you as a human. Where's your favourite place in the whole world? This can be as simple as your couch or as complicated as a balcony in Paris.
I really love the poker table. I love whether it's Vegas or Shreveport or home. This is very specifically sitting at a table where I'm like sort of working on problems and reading people at the same time, and like there's a little bit of adrenaline rush of like winning and losing and like money involved and stuff like that as well, but it's very zen for me. My favorite place to be is like sitting at a poker table like playing hold'em,
Yep.
because I'm focused and I'm like in it.
Yeah, that's a. Uh, that just blown my mind actually. Like
We've
that's
done
not even
poker
a.
streams
But
before.
yeah, but it's not a. For that to be a place to you is a wonderful thing. I think.
Oh
Because
yeah.
it's somewhere you can go to where you can be something else, or in a different mind state, if you like.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's my meditation, and it can be like that. It can be in the middle of a poker room in Vegas with 1,000 bells and whistles, or it can be at home with 6 or 7 friends, and I'm like, that's
it's
my
the same
favorite place to
place.
be.
That's wonderful. What's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is not being able to create. Like if I spent my whole life working for a company that doesn't care about me, where I wasn't able to make something and put it out there and get response and reaction and meet other creators and stuff. If I was ever in a position where I couldn't stream, I would find some other way to try to create and put stuff out there. Like I was, wanting to be in radio or TV or film or all of it. Um, that's my biggest fear, is not being able to make something that could connect me with other people.
Yeah, that's real. Who is your hero or your inspiration?
My inspiration. So they've been in and out of problematic, is I think a fair way to say this. But Mike and Jerry from Penny Arcade, um, they haven't done everything right all the time, but their creativity and the way that they try to get better and learn from people and they've made packs, like they are such a huge inspiration. And Robert Koo was one of their managers, and I heard him on a podcast like 10-15 years ago say, like, how are we successful, is we were too stupid to quit. And that's sort of like my thing, is like, I don't care if nobody came to the stream today. I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm
Yeah.
just going to be too stupid to quit.
Yeah,
And
no,
so
I
I'm going to
think
keep
that's
going.
wonderful.
And then, likewise, another a huge inspiration to me is my wife, Nerdez. She is a gamer. She's very much like motivating and keeps pushing the show to make it better. And like when I run stuff by her, she'll give me ideas I hadn't even thought of. So those are my two biggest inspirations.
I think that's wonderful. What motivates you to work hard? In any
Um,
sense, not in the streaming sense necessarily, just in any sense.
in any sense, I think so. Deadlines are very motivating. In some ways, I'm very bad at self-motivating. like when it comes to my day job, I really need the deadline. Like if someone asks me to do something, I'm like, I need you to tell me when you need this by
Yeah.
because I need that.
So the deadline itself
Um,
is enough motivation?
the deadline itself is enough motivation. If I have a deadline, I'll get it done.
Yeah.
Um, but so if I'm gonna write a book, I need someone else to give me a deadline because if I'm just like I'm gonna write a book, no, I'm not.
What a fantastic thing to be motivated. Motivated by a deadline? I wish that
Yeah.
was me. I wish that was me.
If I could if I could pitch, so like if I was decided I was gonna write a book, which I want to do, but when I actually decided it, what I would probably do is I'd probably pitch the idea to Nerdez and then have her give me a deadline
You've got
by
a
which
year.
I needed the first draft by.
Get going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I could do that. That's the
fantastic.
most motivating thing for me.
What really pisses you off? You don't have to stick to one thing. You let rip if you need to. What just
Not-
what do you just look at and just go, do you know what? No, fuck no.
I this is gonna sound like people that complain about stuff. Like,
Yeah?
and I
Whiny
do it
little
too. Like,
shits, yeah?
I do it too. I will get on Twitter and like complain about, a show or a game or something like that, whatever, and I do that. But I found myself getting really annoyed, not a whole lot like actually angry.
No.
But I
This
found
pisses
myself
you
getting
off.
really annoyed with people like I don't like the art style, like even like I'm thinking back to like Wind Waker. I don't like the art style of The Legend of Zelda. Well, fucking like let it come out before you like,
Yeah.
have that and then there are things that are worth complaining about. I don't want people to
No, of
think that
course.
it's like
No, you mean you're not talking about people who are genuinely having a complaint. You're talking about whiny little shits.
right.
Yeah.
Right, and so like even recently with like Pokemon, it's like this looks like Breath of the
Ooh,
Wild.
careful
Breath of
topic.
the Wild was amazing.
Careful
Like
topic. This is a very
Just-
sensitive issue to some people. Seriously, let's not open that can of worms. I made a really sort of gentle sideways remark on a tweet by Rain today about the Pokemon graphics to link my husband in, and I got a fucking like there was a strict like it should be like this, and this, and this, and no. I was like, okay, I'm sorry.
I totally understand the people that think and want Star Wars to be a certain way or Pokemon to be a certain way, but like to me, adaptation and change and growing and different voices like. Let's tell me a horror Star Wars story. Tell me tell me a story where that part of the reason why, and I know that a lot of people like to jump back and forth about why Episode 8 was so great or why Episode 8 was garbage. But like one of the things that I loved about Episode 8 was like something fucking different. Like
Yeah.
Give me a new perspective and a new voice and a new and so that's my thing is when
Stop whining,
people
people.
complain this movie wasn't like the book. No, if you wanted it to be like the book, read the book. The movie is the movie.
Yep, I can roll with that. So on a note of this, Steve-O on stream is a pretty much mostly always smiling guy. Very little pisses him off. Doesn't get very rattled. He's generally, this ever smiling guy. Is that the same person that you would see off stream?
Yeah, pretty much. I'll have my days, and I usually
course.
I'm usually very upfront with like Nerdist if I'm having a day where I'm like, I'm not feeling good today, feeling down. Just hug me, pat my head, feed me, and I will get through it. It'll be fine. Generally speaking, on a day to day, is like, I'm goofy, I'm silly. I'm probably the more likely going to be the person that might annoy you with my like silliness or jokiness than I would be like the other way around. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
So,
And
yeah,
Steve-O
that's
on
pretty
stream
much
is pretty fast-paced, I think might be the right word to use. You're
Mm-hmm.
pretty, you're quite go. Is that also you off stream? Or is that something that because you're excited about what you're doing, that happens?
Yeah. If I am excited about what I'm doing, I get a little impatient with like.
I didn't
let's
say that. I did not say that. That
go-
was him.
Let's
Okay.
go do the thing. Now that's my words, not yours.
Good.
Yes, but on like if you were like family or like got to know me or something, I'm always sort of performing in the way that I thought of a joke or I thought I'm going
yeah.
to sort of like make this riff off of something someone says. I'll probably make fun of you a little bit while I'm doing it. But it is definitely a more like I am more of a go with the flowy kind of person off stream than on stream, I think. Where it's like, oh, this thing happened, like I referenced earlier, like
Mm.
this thing happened. That's a bummer. Just
Yep.
keep going, keep going.
Okay. What never fails to make you smile? What makes Steve-O smile?
I think that, like, for lack of a, like, y'all, you guys, like
Oh.
the people that I surround myself with, the people that I choose to surround myself with, from my wife to my friends to my family to you all that show up in stream and that I get to game with or chat with, is that I feel like um I'm pretty good at surrounding myself with the kind of people that make me happy.
Hmm.
And so and I'm also very good at like making myself happy, like putting myself in a position to be happy and have fun. So you guys, my friends,
Yeah.
and my chosen family, and my actual family,
Including
like,
those dogs. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Definitely part of the chosen
including
family.
these dogs that
Yeah.
are
Shout out to Katniss
just,
Bowser and Sushi.
and
Wonderful
Sushi.
human
Yeah,
beings.
they were quiet from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then decided to play this
Yeah,
last
they're
hour.
participating this hour. That's
Yeah.
we allow that. That's good. Um, where do you see Steve-O in 10 years' time? Not GutterNerds, Steve-O.
I see myself still here in North Texas with my amazing wife, um, a kiddo, possibly two,
Many
and
Steve-Os. I like it.
creating and you know creating and I mean, not that I'm not as averse to change as I sometimes think I am. Um, and even though I've like referenced like even embracing and loving change in a lot of ways, sometimes it's sort of hard for me to get out of my comfort zone. And I do need that kick in the pants to do that, and that's what Nerdist is great at. But being in 10 years, I see myself doing what I'm doing here with but with the pandemic over and friends and family
That's
and
optimistic.
a kid or two. Yeah, that would be great.
No, that sounds wonderful. Okay, that's thank you. I know I can be a bit intense, but I hope you didn't regret it.
No,
Um,
not at all. This is a blast.
all right, this is your opportunity. If you have a question for Steve-O, pop it in the chat. While you do, please remember to drop Steve-O a follow. For some reason, the timer that's giving every bit of information about your channel, such as your TikTok, YouTube, um, Twitter, all of that stuff, has just decided to just not exist. So it's on his channel, and it might turn up at some point. But yeah, you can jump on that channel, and you can find it. All sorts of other stuff there. So all these links are over there. While you're asking a couple of questions, I want to talk about why I think you're incredible. Um,
Oh,
this is
thank
my
you.
little chance to tell you why I am there all the time when I can be. Firstly, Steve-O, as you've just noticed over the last whatever it is hour or so, is one of the most genuine human beings I've ever met. There is no facade, there is no front, there is no fakery. What you see is what you get, and he's not going to apologize for it. But he's also, he has his views and he will give them to you. But at the same time, he's all encompassing and all welcoming, and that's got to be the first pointer. Second of all, you crack me the hell up.
Oh,
I can be
that's the
watching
best
at
compliment you can give me.
2 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the evening. I can be feeling shit. I pop in and you make me laugh. There's also a hell of a lot of fun shit to do on the channel. You can make Yoda appear and make Chewbacca Wookiee at you, and you can get wonderfully stupid emotes and some bloody fantastic merchandise. By the way, this is also really comfortable.
Thank
Just
you.
go buy that. But yeah, I think there is something you said about true variety, and I know that's not what you're doing now, but it is, because no two streams are the same. Right, if I come along to Doom last week or Doom this week, actually it's Doom 2 right now, but anyway, if I come along last week or this week, it's not going to be even vaguely similar. Yes, you'll be firing a very pixelated gun at some enemies and missing, but realistically, we're going to get a whole different take. We're going to get a whole different commentary, a whole different pile of jokes, a whole different pile of fun, and the family within Steve-O's channel is such a wonderful group of human beings that it makes it a lot easier to be who you want to be while still being in the channel. Um, I think that genuinely, like, it's a group of people who get on so well, um, that it's, I don't know, it's a home. To me, it's a home. Um,
Thank you. That
and
means that
think
means the world
I
to
think it's
me.
absolutely incredible. Questions from the chat. First of all, look who it is. It's Rage. In our mum's basement says, "Hey Stevo, when did you decide to make those amazing posters with yours and other people's heads on them?"
So one of the things that I do to promote different streams is I will take like the cover of a game and I'll slap my face on it. And it started along a while ago because, like I said, before I was a solo streamer, pretty much everything we did had some element of multiplayer to it, whether it was couch co-op or online, whatever. And so the first thing that I did was when we were doing the GTA heists, I took the Ocean's 11 poster and I put our faces on that because I just thought it would be funny
Yeah.
to have the four of us that were doing the heist in this Ocean's 11 style kind of thing. And then I just sort of ran with it after that. And it was not meant to be like, so like Master Charles is a streamer who does a really great blend of like putting his face like in the character, and it looks like it could be an actual cover of the game. Mine's not like that. It's pretty slapdash, but like purposefully so. Um, I mean, I wouldn't be able to do what Master Charles did because I'm not a great at Photoshop, even if I wanted to. But it's just like I'm gonna just slap my face over Spider-Man's face, and that's funny because
Yeah.
you have this
It
like
is.
muscular Spider-Man-y agile, and then you just have like my dumbass face like on top of it. So
No, fantastic.
uh,
Yep.
that's how it came
That's
up. It
how
was
that
just I
came
did
up.
it. It looked funny, so I kept doing it.
Yep. If you weren't, sorry, JoshZilla97, or Josh, my husband, says if you weren't playing Star Wars and you had to pick another gaming series to stream, what would it be?
If I was gonna have a gaming focus, it that wasn't Star Wars. So there are some games that are really there are game series that I really love. So I've mentioned Resident Evil, mentioned the Metal Gear Solid series, the Halo series means a lot to me. Um, but there's only so many games in
Yeah.
that. So if I were going to create a game focus that wasn't Star Wars focus, um, I don't know if retro answers your question.
Yeah,
Being
I
a
think it does.
retro game only might. But GTA Online was one that we actually, when we were on Mixer, I played with the idea of like uh maybe doing GTA Online because it's so you can do so much
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah, 100%.
So
But I think retro did
probably
also answer the question to me.
okay, cool.
Um, Dan Kipp says, who is your favorite character that is only in a Star Wars game?
The main character from that's played by Sam Witwer in The Force Unleashed 1 and 2, Starkiller. I love his character arc. I think that Sam Witwer does a fantastic job portraying him, and so much so that the only fan fiction I've ever written was this short film about these two sort of like teenaged Jedi that had survived the destruction of the Jedi Temple, and they um, sort of the final boss of what could have been a game but was kind of a short film was like Star Killer, and sort of what I love that character so much, and just like going from Vader's apprentice to like sparking the rebellion was so cool. So yeah, that's the answer.
And on a really important note, if you have a lightsaber of your own, what color would it be?
I've gone back and forth about this for a while, and for a long time it was purple because it stood out to me as something unusual, and I loved like Mace Windu's purple lightsaber.
Hmm.
But then after the end of Rise of Skywalker, Rey's like gold lightsaber was just like so striking and cool looking. I think it's like an orangey gold. It's just I think that was just so cool.
Yeah. No, I can go with that. Purple is mine, so quite pleased you started there.
Really good,
Um,
yeah. And sometimes I still think it's
ooh,
purple. So
who is more awesome, Grievous, General Grievous, or Mace Windu?
I think so. It's hard to separate Mace Windu from like Sam Jackson, who I love as an
Mm,
actor.
me too.
That's very difficult to do. I think just if I were to take only Mace Windu from like the prequel movies and like Clone Wars, um, we don't get a lot of him being awesome. So a lot of my I ascribe Mace Windu as awesome based on Sam Jackson. So if I'm just looking at the character and I'm just looking at Grievous, even though Grievous is like a shit and like he just like runs away all the time.
Yep.
General Grievous is fairly threatening. His 4 lightsabers, like half droid. Probably General Grievous is more awesome in the sense, but I like Mace Windu better. So I'm gonna answer it that way.
Fair. I'm going to say you've got a minute or two for extra questions. Just a couple of things. I'm not going to attempt this myself. I'm going to ask you to do it. If you could just give us your schedule, general schedule.
Sure. Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1 p.m. Central Time is our Star Wars games. Saturday morning retro is at 10 a.m. Central. And Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Central is multiplayer and D&D when we're on Locke's channel. And Thursday morning drive time is at 8 a.m. Central.
Fantastic. So if you haven't already, go find that follow. Go see him on Monday evening. I think that's your next stream. Is that correct? Monday? Well, afternoon for you.
Yes, yeah. Monday at 1 p.m. Central is our next stream.
Yeah, do watch him. And secondly, you also put up some great content. Go watch the YouTube. As I said, all the links are on Steve-O's channel. So YouTube, TikTok. I've not seen the TikTok. I haven't sold myself quite yet, but I'm getting there. Follow him on Twitter, and also follow What is Better Than Stomp? What is it? Better Than Stomp? At Better Than Stomp?
Yeah, it's at Better Than Stomp.
At Better Than Stomp, to find out
Twitter.
how many things are better than Stomp and how many things are not better than Stomp. Highlights recently include an elderly woman giving you excellent Italian coffee.
Yep. That's House of Retros. That was the best.
I love that one. Yep. So Josh quickly says, who's cooler, Count Dooku or Emperor Palpatine?
Dooku is cooler.
Dooku, done. Leia or Padme? Ooh.
Jesus,
sorry.
that's tough.
That wasn't an easy one.
Oh, Leia, but that's hard. They're both amazing.
And
Leia.
in a classic moment of rage-based questions, what was your favorite rage moment on stream?
I don't rage on stream. I don't feel rage when I play games, even when something is awful or whatever, except last Saturday, I spent 45 minutes trying to find a third key in Doom 2 that I did not need. And the thing that got me was that Caldane, who's one of my friends, we've podcasted together. He runs his own podcast. I know him in real life. He knew that I didn't need this other key and was not helping me. So when I finally, after 40 minutes, found the way to get this third key, he gets there and he goes, you don't need that third key. And I just I had to set down my controller. I stood up, I got off camera because I was perfectly trolled with a time-wasting 45 minutes of key looking that I didn't need to do.
Fantastic. I think we're going to have to wrap it up there. I could honestly sit here for another 5 hours. But we're going to have to wrap it up. First of all, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the support you've shown from day one for me. It's been amazing. Shout out to Sushi, who's sitting there looking absolutely incredible. I am going to do a few sort of little things post Steve-O before we end the stream. So we're going to say thank you very much to Steve-O and au revoir. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Elena. It's nice to meet all of you.
And we will catch you soon. Turn up on Monday.
All right. Bye, guys.